Good, wonderful morning. Welcome back to the channel. Hi, boss. Today, we're doing part 2. We're going to start putting this tractor back together. My clutch came yesterday afternoon, and I didn't feel like getting going on it, but this morning, I'm going to get going on it. So, just to kind of quick recap where I am, I'm going to take my whiz bang tool and just dress this up, clean it up nice with a Scotch-Brite pad. I've got the slide hammer installed down here, and there is a pilot bearing we're gonna extract. That's gonna be the first order of business. Also, the throwout bearing assembly. Remember I shook it on the first one? We got to remove this, press it out of there, and my neighbor Steve should have a bearing press, so I'm going to take it over and ask him to press the old one off and put the new one on, and then that just slides in there. Pretty easy process, but we can get this half finished, started and finished here quick, fast, and in a hurry. So that's what we're going to do. So all these parts came from Steiner as a kit. Little more expensive than the first one I ordered, but everything's right. So I probably should just ordered from them. Well, obviously I should have ordered from them instead of trying to get an Amazon deal. So I've got a big hook installed on here, and we're just going to see if we can tap it out just like that. There's probably nothing wrong with this pilot bearing. We're going to look at it. It is pretty loose. Set that up there, and then we'll show you that tool. Let me investigate this. I hate when I lock absolutely everything down with the camera. There we go. Feel the end play on it. It's pretty tight still, but it is awfully dry. There she is. Alright, we're going to find a socket that is approximately this size and just tap the new one in. No big deal. This is the tool I use. That's a little hook. So this all unscrews. So I set the hook inside and then screwed the slide hammer to it and just literally went, and it popped right out. So, alright. Here's my new bearings. Well, this one's double sealed, so it's not directional. The old one is open on one side. That would go towards the engine. So it'd be looking out at you like this. So you can tell that one's gotten some wear on it. So this should be unidirectional, should not be any specific size. Let me see if I can find a socket real quick. Oh, and I have new glasses. These are not safety glasses, these are prescription. There we go. She started just easy as pie. And all I have is this big beating iron handy, but we're just going to tap it. And we just want that flush, and it's installed. Not a hard job. I guess next, let me plug the air compressor in. That thing will be running. old t-shirt here. All right, there she is, spiffed up. Yay. Got our clutch and our clutch alignment tool here. Our clutch pad, I should say. That's gonna go in there like that. I don't think there's a direction on this clutch pad. You have a look-see at it. Oh, maybe there is. There is. I was gonna put it on wrong. There's a knockout here. That's gonna go to the outside where the pressure plate is. That way that clutch can make full contact. The other way would be what we like to call wrong. And all the nuts and bolts, I soaked them for a couple of days inside the parts cleaner just to degrease them a little bit. So we're going to need a bunch of these fellers, I do believe. Some of these have been replaced. Somebody's put a clutch assembly on this at a different time. Yeah, just keep looking through the parts bin here, bolt bin. No, we don't need them for a minute. So one that's missing a washer. Man, I'm glad I had my hat on. I just would have cut my forehead. There's another one that needs a washer. Here's his washer. Good. And what do we need? 2 more of them. They're a very common bolt. I've got some over in my shed if I need them. I don't know where they would have went, but you know, you always lose nuts and bolts. I do. All right, let me go grab a couple of these fellas and some washers. I'll shut you guys down for a little bit. All right, guys, got all my bolts started. I did have to go find 2. 2 were missing, or you know, there's a couple that would have worked, but they're a little short. And I'd rather have that grab really good. So let's make sure our clutch alignment tool's in good. It is. You won't be able to thread these in all the way by hand because it is spring loaded. I mean, basically you've got a bunch of springs now you're pushing up against this clutch. And some of these bolts may be too long. I may have to change them out. That one will definitely be too long. And I did change out some of the lock washers. That's why I'm not impacting them in. So it might be some of these shorter bolts are really what I need. And just torque this. I don't know what the spec is, but I'm just going to torque them up tight. And that's a bummer. I just broke it. Well, now we're at a tap and die job. Or an extractor job. Or maybe I can just get some vice grips on it. How convenient. Well, that is unfortunate. I may have to remove that pressure plate. Oh man, my nose is running. Let me torque that up. Ooh. Oofda. Just gonna remove all of it. Okay. If we're living right, we can get it with vice grips. There'll be no harm, no foul if it'll work. Let's see here. Try a real pair of vice grips. I can't clamp on them. Bother. Well, I'm not grabbing very much with them. Go back to the needles. Nope. Me look for a different pair of pliers. Alright guys and gals, so what I've done is this is the correct bolt. So I'm going to put a new one in it that's slightly longer. End up drilling the other bolt out. Retapped it. I have it marked right here with an arrow. I'll bring you all up so y'all can see it. But I don't know if I trust my threads 110%, and I want to be 110% sure. So I went in the house, grabbed this Loctite that we used on the springs, putting the helper springs on, and I'm just going to give this a goodly amount. A couple of good dabs here. If I live long enough to ever need to put another clutch in this, what I'll do is drill that out, re-thread it again, and put a slightly larger bolt in it if it gives me trouble in the future. So a little bit of Loctite, a lock washer. We're basically right where we were when we left off. And figure y'all needed to see me fight with trying to get that guy out of there. And of course this is being a pain. I'm glad I started a couple of nuts, bolts. Driver here, so we're just gonna start it in. Hopefully it's not too long. That was the problem. That's why it broke. I just had my... You gotta be in the right state of mind whenever you start working on stuff. You really do. And I used some longer bolts just to get this started. They were a little easier. And y'all can't see a dang thing that I'm working on, can you? Well, there. Y'all should be able to see what I'm fighting with now. I'm sorry about that. You get thinking about 10 different things all at once. And, yeah, that's my excuse. It's my excuse. I'm going to roll with it. Just because I can. I'm not going to Loctite, but that one that I gave me fits. I don't see a need in it. Yeah. And then we'll drop it. Because that's how we roll. There we go. Anyways, it does take these shorties. Okay, I'm just going to start them. I'm going to go to the other side. Some more bolts going. And we should be in good shape then. Now, I might not film actually putting the two halves together due to I may need like my whole family out here to help me push this around. If it was on concrete, I could do it myself. But we don't have concrete. Concrete's for the weak or the intelligent. You pick. Really, it's for the intelligent, but you know. Like I always say in all these videos where I'm working on something, I am not a mechanic. I'm just okay. Not a professional. I just play one on YouTube. Right? Right. I love ratchets that tell you on and off. That way you can just glance at them and know what way you're going. All right. There we go. Got a little bit of oil on here. I don't want that. It's WD, but I still don't want it on there. And I am replacing all the lock washers after many years of being tightened down. You know, there ain't much lock left in those. Okay. Should be one more bolt in here. If not, we'll get one. He's a fine thread, fine thread. He's a little bit long. He's definitely too long. Well, wouldn't you know it? Well, he's got a nut on him. He's the right size, but got a nut. I did try an easy out, and that was no bueno. You know what? We'll steal him because he's the right length and deal with the consequences later. Even though he had a nut on him. Oh. All right. Now, I would assume, without having a book, that we cross tighten these. And he is not going. That's his problem. Maybe too short? Well, He might be. What's this guy? Ah, that's the guy right there. Come on. Yeah. Just a hair shorter. There we go. So I'm not going to get violent when I tighten these up at all. He is not wanting to start. His friend did. Acts like he's just a little bit off alignment. Try a trick here. These two are. That's why you don't tighten these extremely tight until you get everything started. Otherwise you'll be sad. Let's see if that lined him up. Not sure why he don't want to start. Interesting. I am not certain. Give him a little pry. Maybe we try a longer bolt just for starting purposes here. That one did start. Weird. I'm going to take this one up till it buries the threads. And if I need to, I can take a couple of washers and shim it out. Oh, he wouldn't even need shimmed. A lock washer would hold him. But he has started. Alright, this is my problem child. Oh, and friend Don has stopped. They're gonna stop, so I'm gonna kill you guys. Bring you back after. All right, guys and gals, as you can see, we got it back together. Battery box is softly bolted in, not completely. The pump, hydraulic pump, and the pump feed are both bolted in. Transmission or bell housing and engine block are bolted in. And let's go over to the other side. Oh, battery box. That's what it looks like finished. All right, guys and gals. Few days have passed. As you can see, the tractor's back together. Battery gave out, and by the time I realized that, I was able to turn it on. It was showing that I had more battery, but I didn't. Anyway, so it's back together. It runs. I refilled the transmission, have not changed the engine oil yet, but it runs, it drives, everything works perfect. Now, the next part of this project that I want to get to is swapping out the gauges. New oil pressure does work, but the alternator and the temperature do not. So I do want to change those gauges out. So thought we'd finish off the video with that. Yeah, I'll just do it in sections how we've been doing it, and I'll just bring you in with little updates. I think the battery kind of died around the time I was had busted the bolt off in the flywheel. It honestly wasn't a big deal to fix. It was super easy. It took me longer to get all my tools out than it did to fix it. I just drilled it out, went in 3 stages: a small bit, a medium-sized bit, and then the proper size bit. And I just threaded it, put a longer bolt in it. I went deeper than factory, and I ended up Loctiting that bolt. So yeah, everything's perfect. It runs great. Transmission works perfect. I want to today get these gauges swapped out. I am going to add some lights. I am going to do the seat, but I don't have the materials to weld that up today, so that isn't a thing. And what else? I think that's it. I think that's everything I wanted to do. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, guys and gals, I have the new gauges. They are here. You can probably peek through and see them. I've got the socket, the ratchet, a little extension. And we're just going to see if we can get these guys out, see what they look like for hole size, and hopefully it's not saying they're spinning, it's actually coming out. This extension might be a little long. There it comes. And we're working on the temperature gauge. Looks like this oil pressure gauge has been leaking a little bit of oil, even though it does work. Wow, it's a long-winded little feller. Let me take this extension out. Now that's a little bit too short, of course, but you know, not gonna cry about it too much, I guess. Does no good. There we go. Wow, that bolt's all bent up. Somebody was rough with something in there. Gauge is getting loose. So the new clutch I ended up getting from Steiner's, and that was a wonderful experience. I found out my tractor is not a 1957. According to Steiner's, it is a 1959. They ran my serial number. So that was interesting. I don't think these new gauges have these little hold downs in them. I don't know how well y'all can see under here. I think I'm going to need a screwdriver, because wait until you see this bolt. I have to pry it out. There it goes. don't know if you guys can see that. That thing is bent like nobody's business there. And that is the temperature sensor. And I may have to take the battery box out, or at least one of the bolts here, and slide it a little bit to get this temperature sensor out. It does look like there's some sort of hold down for it, so all is not lost. All right, I'm going to do some sorting and bring you all back when I get some stuff sorted out. All right, guys and gals, I'm going to give you a quick rundown, and then I'm going to wrap this video up because things are not going according to plan. I'll show you what's going on. So, this is where the coolant temperature sensor has to go. Is that thing dripping? Anyway, it wouldn't screw in there to save my life. So I had to take a tap to it and tap it out, clean out the threads. Got that. I don't think it's leaking. If it is, I'll be pretty disappointed. Next, oil pressure sensor line is way back in there. You guys can't even see it. I'll see if I can lean you in. There it is. You can see it on the screen just a little bit right under my finger. That little male that needs to screw into that 90 did not come in my kit. So I ran down to the local store. They didn't have one. Let me show you what the new gauges are going to look like. There we go. Give you an operator's eye view there, maybe. Much better. Let me show you these old gauges. And I apologize, my documentation on this video sucks. It just is what it is, you know. All right, here's the old gauges. That is temperature. You can see that hasn't worked. Here is the amp gauge. Yeah. If it did work, I couldn't see it. And the oil pressure gauge did work. Yeah. Hey guys, I have you guys off the tripod, by the way. So we're just wandering around with a tiny camera in my hand. This tachometer only has what? 804 hours. And I figured out what I think is wrong with it as well. It doesn't have a cable in it. It's missing. I can order a new one. It's about $16, so I may do that in the near future and see if I can feed a new cable in it. But anyways, I'm kind of dead in the water for today. Let's see, Saturday I started this video. It's now Monday. I don't like them to set that long, so put down in the comments if you want to see a part 3. Otherwise, assume that I've got all this sorted out, and probably the next little video will be me picking up the IBC tote full of wood with the tractor. Yeah, so today did not go the way I wanted to, but anyway, if you enjoyed the content somehow, I don't know how, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, thumbs down. You guys know the routine. If you're new to the channel and enjoyed the content, hit that sub button. We're slowly growing. I do appreciate it. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. All right, boss is out. Bye.